Christian Lassie, Mr. All Even, in NYC. He's so big. They call him boss. He's a boss. All even. He's so bad.
Yes. Feel it. We in the building. All Even Podcast. It's a cool, somber episode. We got NBA playoffs. Catch me on Instagram, X at All Even Podcast.
World looking all right.
TikTok at All Even Media.
I stretch
Catch me on YouTube.
This day
hit
gonna be
that
righteous.
subscribe button, like, share, comment.
Let it be righteous all the way.
Audio, you can catch it
Please,
on
my nigga.
iHeartRadio, Spotify.
No bitch
Apple
assness today.
No bitch ass shit today. What I'm trying to say today is there's a lot to talk about. Oh, those Clippers. Silent Assassin. You the only person in here with me today. What's up?
Not that much. So are you?
I am fine. It's been a long week. But that doesn't mean that it can't be a better finish to the week. WrestleMania weekend. I haven't talked about wrestling all year. You know why? Well, not really all year, but over the past couple of months because it sucks. It's absolutely garbage, but at least we can get WrestleMania this weekend, so we'll see what happens. But there's a lot to get into. A lot. So we can be able to have some maybe off-pod or off-sports topics today because, man, there's a lot going on outside of sports, too. But we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about Dianna Russini. Boy. Talk about those Clippers, Doc Rivers. NBA playoff preview. I don't think we're going to talk about the Mets. I don't necessarily want to. I'll leave that up to you, Silent Assassin.
I don't either, so skip over that.
It just feels like the season's over.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I feel nothing, honestly.
Feel empty inside.
Yeah, just like how I felt last time. Like I just don't care. Like it's just until there's something to care about.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I'll care.
I think, you know what? You're right. We got Queens Get the Money every Wednesday. Catch that at 9:30. We will save it for there. I don't have the fucking bandwidth tonight to deal with this. I just don't. It's too early to go on a rant about the Mets. So I'm just gonna put that to the side. So yeah, we got that. We got like I said, what we were talking about before. NBA playoff preview. LeBron, is he staying or going with the Lakers? I have some new news about that. Irrelevant news of the week, and then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. Now, do we have anything off sports that you'd like to discuss first? If not, then we can just leave it for something else.
Like you said, there's a lot, so I don't know if we would leave that till later.
Possibly. This week's PSA is going to be, oh boy. So we'll save it. We'll save it. I don't know where to start. I'm not going to start with NFL, obviously, because it's not the season for it yet. The NFL draft is next week, so that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to see I think me and Claw are going to try to see if we can watch it somewhere. So, pod will be, again, another day in the week, which is fine. Let's start with basketball. And let's start with the play-in game. We had Warriors beat the Clippers. They now advance to go play the Suns for I believe it's the 8th spot or the 7th spot. We had the Magic and the Hornets play tonight, and that was an absolute beating. So the Magic beat the Hornets, and they now have a trip to Detroit. So we'll go ahead and go discuss all of these series. But before we get into that, we'll talk about the Golden State Warriors beating the Clippers. And Clippers were up big. Draymond Green takes on the assignment of guarding Kawhi Leonard, locks him up, plays great defense. Steph Curry has a vintage, Renaissance type of performance for himself. Hits the go-ahead 3, and Golden State ends up winning that game. And kudos to Golden State for being able to, survive to another game that they're going to be playing tonight. We are recording on a Friday. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if they're going to win that game against the Suns. It doesn't really matter because none of these teams are going to beat, OKC or the Spurs. It doesn't matter. But if they advance, shouts to them. What I do want to talk about, though, are those Clippers. Every time I get a chance to bury them, I will. And today I have the biggest shovel to do so. They have been an unmitigated disaster for 6.5 seasons. And boy, oh boy, am I happy about it. It's been great. It's been even longer than that, I believe. When did Kawhi get here? What was it, 2019, I believe? Whenever it was. But since Kawhi Leonard has gotten to the Clippers, they've done absolutely nothing. And I remember, like it was yesterday, the Clippers got Kawhi and everybody's like, oh, the Lakers are done. Clippers are the new dominant team in LA. Kawhi Leonard with his bum-ass New Balance sneakers. He had this new commercial, the new King of LA. Had a little crown on the keychain of the car. They was really trying. Until the ball gets rolled out there and we have the basketball gods having a sense of humor. They said, do you honestly believe that I was going to allow the Clippers to be good? It's the Clippers. So you had Paul George here, you had Kawhi Leonard here, and all they did was manipulate the franchise. They came to practice when they wanted to. Kawhi Leonard could be able to have his family on a team bus and a plane and all. He did whatever the hell he wanted to do. And the Clippers did nothing. They capitulated to every particular demand. He had Uncle Dennis running a rough shot around the Clippers. Uncle Dennis has no affiliation with nobody except Kawhi. Shouldn't even be there. But it's the Clippers. I always compare the Clippers to a desperate little, guy that's never had a girlfriend before. And this horrible person comes along and manipulates this poor young man, or vice versa. You can turn it around. This poor young girl meets this asshole of a guy. And because she's never really had any self-confidence, or he hasn't really had any self-confidence about themselves, they go ahead and they go pick the worst person to be able to be in a relationship with. That's the Clippers. It's because you've been doormats your entire lives. You let the devil in. You let the worst franchise player to come through your doors. Because, you have people say, he's comparable to Jordan. Really? Really? It's because he won a championship with the Toronto Raptors and he was the hottest thing that year. Okay. Respect. But I have, and shouts to Bryson Carver, because he went over this on his show, and he had a nice graphic here. So I'm going to just go ahead and read off this graphic. Let's go ahead and go see this, right? Kawhi Leonard's tenure from 2019 to the present. 2019-2020, they blew a 3-1 lead in the second round, right? 2020-2021 season, they advanced to the Western Conference Finals. But you know who wasn't on that team that advanced to the Western Conference Finals? Kawhi Leonard. You know why Kawhi Leonard wasn't there? Because he tore his ACL. Paul George and the bunch got that team together, and they were able to get to the Western Conference Finals without a Kawhi Leonard. The following season, the 21-22 season, Kawhi Leonard didn't play because he was out the entire season because of the ACL. 2022-2023, he played 2 playoff games that series, and they were gentlemen swept in the first round. The following season, the 2023-2024 season, again, played 2 playoff games. Another first-round exit. 2024-2025, a first-round exit, played the whole season. And now this season, eliminated in the play-in tournament. Kawhi Leonard's contract is coming up next season. You have, and I've gone over this, and shouts to Pablo Torre, he's gone over this, that the Clippers, they possibly might be in salary cap tampering trouble. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the investigation, because I think the investigation is going to be complete bullshit, because David Stern is not going to drop the hammer on one of his bosses, especially the richest owner in basketball. So I don't see anything coming of this. But if something does come of it, and they do get punished, and they do void Kawhi Leonard's contract, what then? You literally sacrificed your franchise and the reputation of your business and your reputation on Kawhi Leonard? I've always said this. He couldn't lead you out of a parking lot in the mall. Couldn't do it. Couldn't lead a parade. But that's the guy you decided to risk it all for. And newsflash, that Paul George trade is still haunting the Clippers today. Do you know the fact that the Clippers didn't make the playoff silent assassin? Do you know who owns their draft pick? And now it's a lottery pick? The Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you know who the Thunder are? They are the reigning champions. The rich get richer. Could you imagine if the Thunder end up winning the lottery because of the Clippers? And they get the best player in the draft?
Yep. Top pick.
I want it to happen. I want it to happen because I want the Clippers to be like a case study. They should be a case study in regards to having a new owner and a new GM being able to be like in a seminar or a symposium where they get shown this particular case study. And they say, if you want to be successful in the NBA and what we do, don't do this. Do not turn your franchise over to somebody like this, because it's not going to bode well for you in the future. The Clippers have nothing. If they do not re-sign Kawhi Leonard, it will be nothing that they've earned in these last 7 years. Nothing. And why should I feel bad for them? I don't. Because again, they belong in the basement with the dehumidifiers and the space heaters. That's where they belong. That's where they've always belonged. So I don't feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for Ty Lue because, he loves the organization. He's been the coach there for a long time, hasn't gotten over the hump with the Clippers, and I feel bad for him. But I don't feel bad for Kawhi Leonard because I think Kawhi Leonard is an opportunist. I think he tried to get every particular dollar, and he didn't care who he was going to be able to manipulate to go get that money. Putting them in danger, putting Steve Ballmer's reputation on the line. Not like he cared because he did it anyway. So I don't feel sorry for the Clippers. They have no future. And they have that new building that they will never be able to sell out because it doesn't matter. They're the Clippers. So for me, it was Christmas come early. I don't like the Warriors, but I damn sure don't like the Clippers. And I was rooting for those Warriors to win that game. Rooting for them. So it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. But in regards to the Clippers, it's over. It's time to tear it down, trade off all of your assets. So if the Kawhi Leonard investigation comes back and you guys are found not liable, cool. Trade him anyway. Bradley Beal, trade him. Porzingis, trade off every single player that you have there. Because you need to try to replenish the cabinet and start from scratch. It's the Clippers. Your fan base is going to be okay with that. They've never known winning. They don't know what success feels like. They've never seen an NBA final. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the one person I know that's doing backflips right now, for a fact I know this, is Black Cat Chris Paul. He was like, you kicked me out because you didn't want to listen to me. Nobody wanted to have any type of accountability that I was trying to bring to you guys and have a serious mindset on this team. No, y'all wanted to kick me out. Well, look what's happening to you now. And I love it. I love it. Get Black Cat out of here. Get the Clippers out of here. And I hope Steve Ballmer ends up getting caught. Because I want the Clippers to fail. And fail miserably. They don't belong in LA. Move them to Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where they can go. They don't belong in California. We got Vegas coming. We got the Suns. We got the Golden State Warriors. I'll even accept the damn Kings over the Clippers. Get them out of LA. Let them move somewhere else. Go to Buffalo. Buffalo needs a team. Go there. This is great for me. The end of the Clippers is finally here. It's great. Let's talk about another end. Doc Rivers officially puts in his notice that I'm done. Of course you are. Of course you are. We knew you were done. You just didn't file the official papers. You just didn't file the official papers yet. But I've been calling this for how long? Where's the news here? Oh, well, yeah, of course you're going to retire because you got fired. And at this stage of your tenure, of your career, do you honestly think that somebody is going to take your old retread ass in regards to your coaching schemes and put you to motivate somebody? You have the motivational skills of a dead body. So of course you should retire. Go into the front, go into the booth and be an analyst. People will love you there. That's great. You want to go ahead and try to break down the game or have a podcast? Hey, do what I do. Hey, that's fine. But as long as you're not coaching on the sidelines, you are going to be a positive to society. If you continue to coach, you're a net negative. It's a failure. It's an absolute failure. I don't give a damn what Hall of Fame he's going to get into. I can't see how he is a Hall of Famer. I just can't see it. That may sound harsh. I don't care. So, of course, you're going to retire because the NBA is done with you. This is one of those things like, oh, she didn't break it with me. I broke it with her. No, she broke it with you. She broke it with you. You were trying to lean in for the hug and the kiss, and she gave you the, you know what I mean? She was done. So you want to go ahead and show off to your friends and say that you're the one that broke it off, or it's a mutually parting of ways. That's always the line that you know that, hey, listen, we want to fire your ass, but we respect you too much so you can be able to put this press out and say mutually parted ways. No. Fired. They said pack your shit and go. So Doc Rivers, I can't say that I'm going to miss you. But this has been a great year for me watching. Chris Paul is gone. The Clippers are dead. And Doc Rivers is out of the NBA. You cannot ask for anything more. The only thing that can probably possibly happen now is the Lakers find themselves into the NBA Finals. It won't happen, but if it does happen, boy, what a year. What a year. But if that doesn't happen, I will take this as a consolation prize. I will. This is great. Absolutely great. Moving on. Adam Silver is a madman. And sometimes I don't know if he realizes how stupid he sounds sometimes. And I'm going to play this audio here. And I'm concerned for David Stearns. Where's it at?
But from a commercial standpoint is minuscule. And so the marketplace opportunity, and right now, basketball is the number 2 sport in Europe, but from a commercial standpoint, generates about 1% of the revenue.
Second to soccer, I assume?
Second to soccer, yeah. But from a commercial standpoint is minuscule. And so the marketplace sees a big opportunity in basketball. I mean, we've already talked about, of course, Luka, whether it's, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Canadian, he's not European, but, the number of international players we have now, Giannis, Wemby, some of our very best players, sure. Jokic, I could keep going on.
How many times are you going to say in the same?
About 15% of our league now is made up of European players. If anybody was watching the NCAA championship, there've been a huge increase in the last few years, largely because of NIL payments. They can make more now playing in college than they could in Europe. Right. It's pretty straightforward. So there's no doubt that there's amazing amount of top-notch basketball being played in Europe and great development of players. So we're in this process right now, so this would be a stand-alone league. But I would just say over time that, I've been following, there used to be the Concorde, obviously, supersonic jets. There's a company called Boom Sonic that's saying by 2030 they're going to have supersonic jets again.
Because travel's a big concern.
But I'm just saying to your point about, whether initially you could see some of those teams competing in some tournaments we had throughout the season. But long term, I could definitely imagine we could have a division in Europe. Obviously it's a very global game. And also for our sport, that from a commercial standpoint, the arena is so much part of the operation. And what's interesting, for those who, watched the last Summer Olympics, talk about Steph Curry and his heroics, in Paris, it's a bit surprising. Like in Paris, the arena is really old. It's fine, for playing a basketball game. But from a commercial standpoint, they don't have all the back of house space that we have in our arenas, all the great restaurants and lounges and all the other commercial opportunities. So the interesting thing about our sport, it's both for these great European cities. It's not just bringing in, a potential an NBA type team, but also same thing you've seen market by market in the United States. Sort of started with this LA Live complex where, it's an arena. You see it in San Francisco now, together with retail, commercial space, residential. So it looks like a really big opportunity we're spending time on. As I said, like whether we have a division is something way down the road, but I think short term, you could see, a really successful standalone league in Europe.
Last year, quick
opportunity. And right now, basketball.
There's a few things that I took away from that. And I took away him saying that he wants to, expand the game. And, there's a lot of great European players that are in the NBA. 15% of the league is basically, Europeans at this point, which is great. I mean, you're expanding the game. In college, you're seeing a lot more European players that are having influence in the game. So being able to design a standalone European league that is an NBA affiliate, I don't see anything wrong with that, right? I didn't have an issue with that part. The issue that I had was, it's possible that down the line that we can be able to have European teams and we have a European division in the NBA. For what? It's an American game. It's an American game. Just gonna leave it there because that's like a soccer or football. We call it international football, saying that we are going to absorb or partner with Major League Soccer. So we're going to have an American division in international soccer. You know what they're going to look at? They're going to be like, why? That's stupid. It's not the same game, one. And two, they have their own league. You want to go play there? Go play there. You want to go make big money and play big superstars over there? You come over here. Why would you ever do that? Oh, and they might have some supersonic trains or planes or whatever. You can have one of those Star Trek teleporters. No, I don't give a damn. It's a stupid idea. We don't want a European division in basketball. That's just stupid. Can you imagine? Oh, football, we're gonna have a European division. We're gonna have a London division. We're gonna then have Brazil. We're gonna have who cares? It's an American game. You want to go ahead and have NFL Europe again? Go do that again. See what happens. Grow the pipeline over there, and maybe you can see what happens. But why would you even consider expanding the league to another continent? What are we doing? It's just stupid. Fix the game that you have here. How about you make divisions count? Fix the tanking situation. Fix the load management situation. Fix your own damn house before you start looking at another house or start building up the backside of the house that you live in, but yet your basement, you still don't have a finished basement. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You ever go into somebody's house and you go in it, it's like, okay, this house is nice, but why do you have like a cellar for your basement? Fix it. It's incomplete. Unless you're in a flood zone and you don't want to touch it, okay, cool. But if you don't, fix it. Don't tell me that you're going to go ahead and go build another house in the back when you still got an unfinished basement. That's what the NBA is. You telling me all of this nonsense that you thinking about doing, but your basement is still unfinished. Fix the base of your game. Make it more serious in regards to having divisions count, because if you make divisions count, you're going to make games in the regular season count more. Now, instead of people tuning the games out, Because you do have a fan base that loves watching the game, but you also have a lot of people that have been very disengaged with basketball this year. But if the divisions are on the line and they count, and that means that games heading to the end of the season when it comes to divisions, they matter because seeding is involved. I don't give a damn about having some supersonic jets where you can be able to get to Argentina in a half hour. I don't care. You can have Bewitch come down and blink, do the blink shit, and you can be able to get there in 5 seconds. I don't care. That's not the issue for the NBA to be able to continue to grow and be a good sport. It's about fixing the bullshit that you have in your current product. So, not a fan of it. No, don't do it. Moving on. As a Laker fan, I had said a couple of months ago that I have accepted the fate of my franchise. I've accepted the fate that LeBron James will not be on this roster for next season. I accepted it. I was like, you know what? Based on body language, based on how I know he moves, man, it just doesn't look like he'll be back. So I'm just going to enjoy the last couple of games that I have with LeBron. Well, there's some new reporting that says that, and according to, I believe it was Brian Windhorst or somebody else, that LeBron still has a big desire to stay with the Lakers. Does not necessarily want to leave. These are all reports, obviously, so we're talking about rumors. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and just talk about these rumors a little bit. So the rumor said that, you know, he wants to come back and he's contemplating retirement after this year. He doesn't want a retirement tour, but he's also very interested in returning back to the Lakers because he believes that the Lakers can be able to win a championship with the formula that they have in regards to Luka, Reeves, and LeBron. And I'm just like, yeah, find a way to get LeBron back on this team. But I will say this. If they do plan to keep LeBron and they have the partnership, they have the plan worked out, I don't think that there's a scenario where you can be able to pay LeBron any more than about $25 million a year. If he's willing to be able to take $22, $23 million a year, now the Lakers are going to have a lot more flexibility to do a lot more damage. But on the flip side of that, LeBron would be willing to accept that type of pay cut if it's going to help the team build, one. And two, if you put together a competent roster that he can be able to say, okay, cool, you guys got some players that I really, really like that I can be able to now not play so much going forward because I am 41 years old. So I can be able to take some back-to-back nights off and all that other stuff because we have the depth. I can play my Tim Duncan role. Yeah, that would make sense. So if you can get guys that can be able to come in here that are good players, good defensive players, good knockdown shooters, high IQ, then that's when I'll be ready to take a pay cut and take a step back. But if y'all are not going to go get somebody who, or get a few players that are actually competent and can be able to help us win, then why would I take a pay cut? It's either I take what I want to take on this team or I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Golden State and take the pay cut. I'll go play with Steph. So he has options. But I think the best scenario, in my opinion, is staying with the Lakers. Because there's nothing better than being a great and retiring as a Laker. He's going to get his jersey retired as a Laker. There's a lot of people that said that he should have a statue outside of Staples. I don't know where I fall with that. Just because people don't get statues in front of the Staples Center unless you got two of them things. 2 Lakers championships get you a statue. He ain't got that. If he ends up getting one more, then cool. You know, we'll be able to consider it. If they go ahead and do it, I'm not gonna be upset. But it's just like, getting his jersey retired though, I think kind of falls on the same level as the statue. But I think for me, it'd be a little bit more acceptable to be able to put his jersey in the rafters outside of, you know, giving him a statue. So we'll see. Plus, I don't want these crazy ass people that hate LeBron to have that statue out there and they're gonna start defaming the statue. I don't want that. Okay, I don't have to go to LA and fight. So I'm hoping that they can be able to really, really hash this out. Have a plan for LeBron. Have a plan for free agency. Who are they gonna go ahead and you know, put around Luke and Austin Reeves? What's the supporting cast gonna look like? And if they can be able to put together a good plan, I don't see why LeBron James would not accept the $20 to $23 million that they should offer him to be able to have a competitive team on the floor. So I'm hoping that that's the situation. I don't know. But if LeBron James comes back, I'll be doing backflips because I love him. I do. I don't want him to retire. Never retire like Ric Flair. Moving on. Playoff previews. So now we know exactly what's going on. We got the Pistons and the Orlando Magic. So Detroit, winners of 60 games. You got Cade Cunningham back after the collapsed lung was officially put onto the eligibility list of being able to be eligible or qualify for the All-NBA selections. You know, this whole 65-game rule bullshit. They need to get rid of it. But the Pistons, they're an interesting team, man. They are physical. They get up and down. They have Cade that's a bona fide 30-point scorer. The problem is with them that they may face in this series is a lack of offense sometimes. Sometimes the offense goes really, really dead, and they have these rough spots of not being able to score any baskets. So we'll see what happens because the Magic, after beating the doors off of the Hornets, they do have guys that can be able to put the ball in the basket. So am I saying that Orlando has a shot to win? No, I'm not saying that, but I do feel that this is a great test for the Pistons to be able to have just because it's a good team. They have good young players, and that's the way to wake yourself up instead of being in this malaise as a number 1 seed going against a team that has no business being in there with you. I think the Magic are an inconsistent team. I think Paolo Banchero is inconsistent at best, but they do have certain matchups that can give the Pistons hell. So I'm curious to see what happens in that series. We got the Celtics against the Sixers. I don't know how the Celtics did it this year. Like the fact that they traded Porzingis, they traded off what's my man name? Drew Holiday. They traded off a lot of pieces off this team. And Jason Tatum having the Achilles injury, not starting the year. Jaylen Brown has to shoulder the load, and he did just that. Shoulder the load for this team to the point where they won 56 games. I don't even see that as fucking possible. But they did it. Won 56 games and outright, took the number 2 seed in the East. They're one of the favorites to win the NBA championship this year. Jason Tatum is back, has looked pretty solid. Defenses look pretty solid, and I'm sure Joe Mazzulla is very happy. So the Celtics have a good chance, and they're going against the Sixers, who, without Embiid with the emergency appendectomy, I don't know how much firepower they're going to have. Yes, they have Tyrese Maxey. Yes, they have some other players over there, but I just don't see it as a good matchup for the Sixers unless they have an Embiid that can be able to slow things down in the half court. The fact that they don't have that, I think the Celtics are gonna roll all over them. We have the Knicks and the Hawks. Both teams are playing pretty well. Hawks are, after making those trades, the Hawks have really bounced back to really have a pretty decent team led by Jalen Johnson. But I just think that the Knicks have the upper hand. They have one of the best players in the league in Jalen Brunson. Bryson had him as a top 10 basketball player right now heading into the playoffs. And not going to really disagree with that. Put him top 10, top 15, doesn't really matter. But, Jalen Brunson is a guy that can be able to get buckets. And if Mike Brown can be able to figure out what his rotations are going to be and what his offensive sets are going to be, I think they can be able to have a possibility to have a deep run in the playoffs. Are they going to get to the finals? That's my original pick. I don't know now, based on the strength of Detroit, the strength of the Celtics, which the Knicks did handle last year. So we'll see what happens. Next, after that, we have the Cavs and the Raptors. Kenny Atkinson has done a pretty good job in his first year with the Cavs. Toronto's an easy or interesting team. They have Brandon Ingram, they have RJ Barrett, they have all of these guys that can be able to step up and become playoff superstars, but they gotta prove it. They gotta prove it on the biggest stage. So we'll see what happens here. I got the Cavs winning the series. So whether it's 5 or 6, I got the Cavs coming out. We got the Thunder and whoever wins the Suns Warriors game. Let's say that they beat the Warriors beat the Suns. That now is going to be a very, very difficult matchup for the Warriors. The Warriors do play a brand of ball. They are physical just because of Draymond Green, but the entire team in regards to physicality, I don't know that. And because of that, I do believe that OKC is going to have the advantage. Same thing with the Suns. I think, having Dylan Brooks as your enforcer, they have too many guys that can be able to neutralize a Dylan Brooks. So if it's the Suns, Thunder will win in 5. If it's the Warriors, I can see the Thunder closing out at 6. Steph is good enough to be able to give you at least 1 or 2 victories against a team like this. So this is why I give the nod to the Warriors over the Suns, but I still believe that the Thunder will end up winning the series. We got the Spurs and the Blazers. This is definitely going to be a gentleman's sweep. Victor Wembanyama has been one of the best players in the league. Two-way player, offensive, defensive. He's a block specialist. He's a guy that can step out and hit threes. They got so many good young players that are on that team. Stephen Castle, so they have some guys, man. They have some guys. Dylan Harper. I got the Spurs winning. And winning easy. Portland, they have Danny Avdija. They have Shaedon Sharp. They have some guys that are pretty good. But they're young and inexperienced. And seeing Greg Popovich at practice, he had his cane. The guy was holding his cane behind him, and he's doing his thing. And he doesn't look like the same virile Greg Popovich, but of course not, because he had a stroke last year, still recovering. But the fact that he's still out there and supportive of the team. As a Laker fan, I can't stand the Spurs, but I wouldn't hate to see them win a championship with Greg Popovich. I really wouldn't. Like, it wouldn't bother me as much. You know what I mean? Next, we got the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I think this is going to be a very, very good series. Nuggets are probably the hottest team in basketball right now. You got the T-Wolves that have size. I don't necessarily know if they can be able to match the Nuggets with size. Jamal Murray is one of the best playoff performers we've ever seen. And they still have arguably probably the best player in the world with Jokic, right? So we'll see what happens there. If I'm going to have to pick somebody, I will definitely pick slightly the Denver Nuggets to win this series in 6. We got the Lakers and the Rockets. No Luka, no Austin Reeves, no KD possibly for game 1 because of a knee injury that he had in practice. So that leaves LeBron James with the kid going against the kids on the Rockets with his own version of the kids as well. So can LeBron James have a a vintage throwback style of series where he can be able to carry us? I think for a small period of time, LeBron can do that. Anything outside of a small period of time is definitely detrimental. So hopefully if they do advance, Luka and Austin can be able to get back into the swing of things in the second round at some point. So gun to my head, give me the Lakers. Lakers in 5. All right? That's what we doing. We pulling out the old Shannon Sharp. Lakers in 5. Who else we got here? What else do we got here? I think that's it. It's a pretty good breakdown. Yeah. So, it's too early for my NBA Finals prediction. I need to see exactly how the teams fare and who's trending in the right directions and who isn't. So, moving on. Do we have any? I think we can go irrelevant news of the week.
You gotta be kidding me.
There's so many.
How do you watch the? They stink.
Every week, Silent Assassin, though, we have so many different. We got a lot of news stories this week. It's crazy. So let's start. You were discussing this. Medical examiner rules Celeste Rivas' death a homicide in David murder arrest. So please take it away, April O'Neil.
Yeah, this has been a topic for within the past year. It's probably summer or fall of 2025, I would say. When it first came up that there was a Tesla that was registered to the artist, singer, David, and it was impounded in the car a lot, and then there was kind of suspicion we gotta get this car open because there's kind of a smell and all this stuff coming from it. And then they open up the car and they see a body kind of cut up and whatnot. So obviously they see that it's registered to him, so they go there first to him, and he gets cleared or whatever, let go. And he was starting to pop off on TikTok. He had a few trending songs, and even in the songs, and kind of posts that people put together that he's with this girl and she's 13, 14 at the time. And she was even her mom was saying a missing case persons report, because she kind of was on the road and stuff with him and whatnot, but she just wasn't responding, didn't come home, and that kind of opened up some eyes, and they never obviously heard from her again.
So was she somebody that was constantly running away from home, or she was just outside?
Yeah, I think just with him, he's a singer, and you gotta get caught up in that life,
right.
I'm with this celebrity.
Yeah.
And he's 4 years older, so I think he was 18, at least 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Which is not really of a legal
No.
age at all. So
not at all.
But yeah, there were some songs. I think he even had the song is titled Celeste, or she is name dropped in the song, and other songs and music videos where he's kind of playing out kind of a murder and whatnot. So that even opened up eyes more. But initially he was let go, and I think it was put on to one of his managers or something at the time, over that. But now clearly, that's not the case, and he's kind of getting questioned again, because I feel there's too many things pointing to him doing it and all that. So we'll see how it plays out, but rest in peace to her, and it's just a horrible situation, to kind of, she was gone like for a while, like they had her missing, and then turns out she's in, the car, kind of.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about, that body it has a different smell.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just, when you've been around it,
Mm-hmm.
you can recognize it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, soldiers that come home from war, like, there's a lot of like PTSD behind those things. Certain smells can be able to like trigger you, right? But that smell is so recognizable. As soon as you smell it, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just like see like too, like how it was kind of like Kappa just like forget, like it got impounded because like he wasn't paying the payments on it. Like the car was left there on the side of the street,
Abandoned,
probably put it in there, and then he's like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Allegedly, if it was him. And then obviously it gets taken, and then all that stuff. It's just sad situation, and for her mom, like, her family going through that and whatnot, and sad situation.
Nah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, it's unfortunate, man, to have a young girl like that lose her life, and we really don't understand or will probably ever know the details of everything, but hopefully they according to the medical examiner, they have an idea of who did this.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see how this unfolds in the next, month and change. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Thieves are drilling into vehicles and siphoning gas directly from the fuel tanks. Absolutely, because when gas is $9, you ain't got no time to be going and say, yeah, let me get let me get 905 worth of gas. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
I could be able to get a gallon of gas to take me from here to up the street.
Mm-hmm.
People ain't got no time for that, man. So they just gonna start stealing people gas.
It's crazy. Like at the ESP, I'm like, oh, like I'm watching the dollars go up, right? I'm like, oh, like my tank's almost filled up, and then you look down at where the gallons are. It's like you're at like $30 around there, and you look, and it's three gallons filled up. Like I still got a lot.
Insane. Insane.
It's crazy.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was down, I'd be doing the same thing too, right? Siphoning gas. But listen, I'm not as sophisticated as these guys. I would just put the old school way, put the hose in the tank, and once it starts to, you get the hose and you start, you start, sucking up the... You start sucking up the gas, and once you feel it, go, man, pause. Once you feel the gas coming your way, pause. I don't even know how to clean that up. You spit it out, God. But yeah, I mean, like, you can't blame people. The economy is so bad right now that people have to find ways to survive. That's all it is. Like, if they gotta siphon gas, if they gotta go ahead and do what they gotta do, I'm sure the Sticker Boys are gonna come back. Like, you never know, because people are struggling, and when the economy struggles, people tend to do more crimes, because it's not a crime of like pleasure. It's more of a survival crime. I need to do this in order to survive, depending on what my geographical location is, wherever I live, like what my environment is. Can't speak for everybody, so I don't know, but this is crazy. It's funny, but it's not funny at the same time. You know what I mean? So if I saw a hole in my thing, I'd be like, touche. Touche. You got me. You caught me. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Woman who got into a physical altercation with Ice Spice at McDonald's speaks out, claiming that the rapper was rude to her. So let me ask you a question. You go ahead and you try to have conversations with a celebrity, and the celebrity doesn't necessarily want to have conversation with you. And you feel it necessary to, because you felt disrespected, now you have to run back into the establishment and then antagonize that said celebrity and her friend. And now the celebrity is being charged with something or whatever it is. It's just, I don't know if let me see if there's any charges.
It's just like I didn't see the prior, like I just saw like the altercation, so I don't know like what happened beforehand. So like even just like as a regular person, like if I don't want to talk to you, like I don't talk to you. Like why are you offended?
Yeah, like if you rude, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're rude, I'm just gonna tell you to go fuck yourself and keep it pushing. I don't need to put hands on you. Like it's just but again, we're talking about me here. We're talking about you. You do not have the short fuse or the patience that some of these other people don't have. You know what I mean? Like, you have patience. You can be able to be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm an adult. That person was a jerk. It's a terrible experience, but I'm just going to move on. Other people are, oh, nah, you're not going to punk me. Okay, cool. You go ahead and try to go do something to me, and then the 9 bodyguards that I got back here, when they tackle you, like, don't act crazy and don't be saying that they're assaulting you because you put hands on somebody that you shouldn't have put your hands on. She might have been rude, but at the end of the day,
you can't assault somebody. Yeah.
Like, come on now. I don't even want to hear her. There's an email. I don't even want to hear you because at the end of the day, I'm not even a big fan of Ice Spice. But at the same time, she has the right to defend herself. And if she does get more crazy, because that's what happens, that she slap Ice Spice and then they start scrapping in McDonald's. The girl gets dragged out by one of her friends out of the McDonald's and Ice Spice goes after her. Now she's asking for a fair one in the street. There's a guy arguing with Ice Spice like he wants to hit her. And then she ends up finding the girl. They end up having a little scuffle and then it's broken up again. And Ice Spice continues to talk like, oh, I want to shoot the fan. I'm just like, okay, dude, like, it's fine. But people are like this. They hold disrespect very, very high, and you should. But there also should be a level of you got to control yourself. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Oh, this is interesting. Gen Z viewers are calling American Pie deeply problematic after their first time watching it. You know what I got to say about you people? I'm sorry. It's not all of you. It's not all of you. I got some Gen Zers that I love. But the totality of the generation, put it in the garbage. Put it in the garbage. It's just like, what else are you going to get offended at? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I personally saw that movie once, and I was probably around 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. All I remember, there was a lot of naked women, like topless women.
Yes, indeed.
But it was no parental supervision at the time. I just was flipping through the movie channels and let's put this on, and that was it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was watching. So I don't really know like what is the offensive part that they could say is offensive, because I feel like it was just like a regular, typical college type movie. Like,
I think it's more about the incels that are getting upset. Like you're putting a mirror up to our lives. We don't like it. Well, dude, you can't get no buns, or that's not our problem. But listen, those movies back in the day had its place. Kids in high school, and you trying to, you know what I mean? Like like there was so many movies that depicted that type of scenario.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s or whatever it was, that was just a time. So my thing is that if you can't watch something and appreciate it for the time that it was made in, don't fucking watch it. Like, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Oh, well, I was offended. I don't care. If you're offended, well, this movie made millions of dollars and a lot of people weren't offended. And guess what? Just because you're offended about something doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tear it down.
Yeah.
You can be able to say, I didn't like that because I didn't really like, what direction they were going into. So I decided not to continue to watch it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, I watched that American Pie, and you know what? We got to do something about this. We gotta write the film director. We gotta write the production company. This is like, it's like really, really disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even like sit down and watch this thing because I'm a devout Christian, and every time I saw some boobs on the TV and some really big ones too, like it was just I was just very, very uncomfortable. I'd be more comfortable if they were smaller, but the fact that you had like very, very well endowed women on the screen, I felt insecure about that, and now I have to write a letter, and now I have to go ahead and go create a group of all of the women that are insecure about the size of their bust. Enough with y'all. Like garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, everything does not necessarily need to have a protest behind it.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's just like, stop being so, like, there's things you should be like, I put it like
You
this,
passionate about.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like a woke person.
Yeah.
I'm just a person that thinks that human beings should have proper rights. It's like,
It's basic. Basic
like,
human rights.
Yeah, like, I'm not out here trying to offend nobody, and all that stuff, like, because I'm just treating everybody with the same equal respect. But, like, some people just kind of take it, in this day and time, like, they're just overly sensitive or feeling to type things, and, like, not thinking about, like, oh, this is pushing 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was a different time, and like, we
Different
can, maybe things weren't okay 30 years ago, but we push forward into the future and move on,
Right.
and progress. Even like with like this current events that happened more recently, but even just in general, like, I'm like interested to see, I don't know if it's officially confirmed or still a rumor, how the White Chicks 2 is gonna go over. Because, like, all collectively, like, that's, like, one of the best movies of all time, I feel like. Like, just, like, as people collective, like, you could always go back to that movie and quote that movie and get memes for that movie. But now, like, when the whole other side of people they get like, I'm talking about, like, the Drewski thing. Like, how that was taken. It's like, well, if you could do that, then we're going to do that. But even though it's just two completely different things. And I'm just interested to see, like, how White Chicks 2 is going to play over and what people are going to say about that, what that comes about.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's in a different time. You're now trying to insert that movie that was built in a different time and try to remake it where it's not offensive to every particular group or marginalized group out there, like, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's just enough. Like, I just grow bored and tired of it, man. Like, just leave the movies alone. Like, if you don't want to watch it, or if you're having a conversation with your friends about it and you want to voice your displeasure, then cool. But outside of that, I need you to mute up. Moving on. Oh, this is interesting. Reports say Spirit Airlines could go out of business overnight, stranding flyers everywhere. So they are complaining about fuel costs and ongoing financial restructuring. And these things are raising concerns about the budget carrier's future. So listen, if Spirit Airlines goes down, there's going to be a lot of sad people, because Spirit Airlines is definitely the Greyhound bus of flights. Not even the Greyhound. There's some other off-brand bus that you could be able to take, right? And every time I see a video that just looks unhinged, 8 times out of 10, it's somebody from Spirit coming in. And I can't remember. I was on a bus or plane. Can't remember what I was going on or even what year it was. That's what happens when you get old. You know, there's like a timeline of events, but you can't remember exactly what year it was. And this guy was, you know, kind of looking me up and down and like kind of, you know, I'm just like, I don't stink. So I don't really know what your problem is. And he made such an uncomfortable ride worse. And all I did was I made his life uncomfortable. But it made me realize that that's like the behavior that you see on these spirit planes. Like every time you see videos drop, there's always some fucking crazy shit going on the Spirit Airlines. Whether people are scrapping in the middle of the aisle, they're causing issues with security guards, they're causing issues with the flight attendants, like just be normal. But just because you're paying $6 for the flight, you think you'd be able to act crazy. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's I have like personally, my dad loves to fly Spirit.
Yes.
Like even though he has money to afford
Yeah.
a nicer airline, but he just wants to save
Listen,
as much
the man
money
is
as
saving
possible.
money. I understand, especially when you ain't got no you ain't got no luggage and you don't care, right?
Just go. But the amount of story, like he's not a scared flyer or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like he's confident, but the amount of times where I picked him up to the airport and he's like, I thought that was it. Like the amount of times that he had near, death experiences he felt like on Spirit is way too many to count. And just like talk like more recently his flight got delayed. Like it's always getting delayed or canceled. Yeah. But this time they had everyone on the plane stuck there for an hour or two, and then they had to deboard the plane because there was something wrong with it, so I had to get a completely new plane. And then they had like vouchers or something, or people were just at the bar. So the whole plane's at the bar, and everyone's getting drunk. And then he says that everyone went back on the plane, and there was multiple people just like gone. And this one guy in particular was starting arguments with a bunch of people, and he's just drunk and now holding up the plane again because now he has to get escorted off of the plane, and the police have to come and all this stuff.
Drag him in by his arms and legs.
Yeah, but it's like literally something you see like on TikTok, like a fight on Spirit, and it's like living through this, and he's like, and then, I'm like, this is every time I'm like, can you spend an extra $50
to not be on there?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm in like the program, whatever the program is, probably $20.
I got frequent flyer miles with Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not worth it for you to have an experience almost every single time. It's not worth it.
Yeah, listen, every time I see it, I laugh, man. I'm like, yo, people just don't care. If they will save $1, they will go ahead and do it and fly on the worst particular experience they will ever have. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that love Spirit, but it's not an experience that I ever want to go for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had encounters with different people in different airlines and stuff like that, but knowing myself, if I would ever go on a Spirit, they would have to kick me off too, because I'm putting hands on somebody, because some people are just too crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if they're gonna go bankrupt, then I'm all for it, because the madness needs to end. The madness needs to end. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this was interesting. Did you see this? Viral volleyball star Jordan Lucas responds to negative comments about his celebrations during matches. It's just me being animated. So this guy looks like, the way he walks and the way he celebrates might be a little, you know what I mean? Which I don't care personally, but like a lot of people are making an impression about this, and this is him talking now.
That guy should be. I'm surprised nobody has popped him. Is that what he said?
Yes.
For his antics.
Yeah.
So like break that down. Like
Yeah, I think, you know,
calling it antics.
Yeah,
you know, your way, right? That's just your way.
It's interesting terminology to use, especially for a men's volleyball match. And you know, I think for me, it's something that I can see how it could be perceived, but that's kind of always how I played volleyball ever since I've been 14. So that's something, it's not, you know, new to me. I've always been true to it. And, you know, some people love it and some people hate it. And I think, you know, but regardless, it's just me being animated, especially in these top 20 matchups that you have, like across.
This is big.
Across
Yes.
Like it's a heated match. You know, guys on the other side are, you know, talking some trash. And obviously, you know, I'm not going to just sit there and take it. So,
Right.
you know, I'm going to, you know, do a little emote on them, maybe a couple.
He said that guy should be. I'm surprised nobody has popped him. Is that what he said?
Yes.
For his.
Yeah, so basically, he's just saying that. Listen, he's just trying to be animated. He's trying to just do his thing, and yeah, but the videos look crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. He looks crazy doing them things. But if that's the way he wants to do it, then whose business is it? Like, that's the whole thing, is that, like, we're so used to just having opinions on everything that people do because social media has shrunken the world, and it just allows us to be able to see things that we normally shouldn't see or wouldn't see. And now everybody has an opinion about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, it's not a big deal, but because it's out there and it's viral, of course it's going to be a big deal. And now he's just going to double down and just do more wild shit. Like, that's what I would do. Mm-hmm. I'd dress up like Dennis Rodman. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I didn't see, so I don't know, like, what these moves are, but, like...
Oh, no, I'm going to send it to you right now. I'm sending it to you right now. Like, you will enjoy it.
But if he's able to go out there in public, like, he's just confident. Like, you can't, like, put him down for that. Like, if he's able to openly in front of people and do his thing, like...
The man is comfortable in his own skin. So, and that's... I respect people that do that. I respect people that are comfortable in their own skin because they don't give a fuck. Moving on. You see it, right?
I mean, what's the difference between him and Patrick Mahomes?
Good. That was great. That's a bar right there. That's an absolute bar right there. This was crazy. I don't know if you heard this. Amazon worker dies on warehouse floor as staff told to work around the body.
Where's state?
Oregon.
That's like, I don't even know what to say. Like, what do you? What?
Like, me, I am flabbergasted. Like, somebody is literally dead on the floor, and you just gonna tell me, yo, just kind of slide him out the way. Yeah. Slide him out the way so you can be able, like, you see what he was working on? Mm-hmm. Can you be able to just continue what he was working on, because you know the assembly line is starting to get backed up. Mm-hmm.
It's just, even to be working around it, like, no one called nobody to be like, hey, like, there's literally a dead body right at my feet at work. It's just like, but too, like, just like the carelessness, and especially with Amazon, like how they get bad reps of like overworking people and whatnot, and there's literally someone that is,
they have terrible labor conditions.
Warehouse. It's just like a sad situation. That like these multi-billion-dollar companies can't even take care of their workers. No, I mean, we talked about it last week. The guy that incinerated the warehouse, right? Mm-hmm. Can't give us a fucking living wage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right, you know what? Do it. I'm gonna burn this thing. You're starting to see a lot more, violent types of protesting, right? Not necessarily hurting anybody, but they are sending messages that this is not sufficient enough. So yeah, I seen this and I was just like, dude, they gotta close this place down.
maybe never bring it back, because at the end of the day, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. This one, last one here. Oh no, second to last one.
A lot of my friends and everything we save those DVDs and watch those episodes over and over and over. Is that something that you think that you would ever revisit, or you move past that?
Man, if you would asked me that question a year ago, I'd have told you absolutely not. But in the last few weeks, it's come up a lot, and I'm considering it.
So that clip right there that you heard, that's one of the GOATs of comedy, Dave Chappelle, had a sketch comedy show years back called Chappelle Show. Had an interview ask him, is there a possibility that Chappelle Show comes back? And Dave was just like, if you would ask him that last year, he probably would have said no. But the fact that there's so many things that are happening, and the power of being able to use satire and comedy to be able to get your point across when you're talking about serious issues, right? I think there's a place for it. Obviously, we know that Saturday Night Live does it. We know that Jimmy Kimmel does. There's so many people that try to do things like that, but Chappelle Show was iconic. Like we're talking about, for the black community, there was nothing bigger in that time than Chappelle Show. So if he brings that back, oh man, special. Can't wait. That's where I don't know if you ever heard me talk about Clayton Bigsby. I think I called Stephen A. Smith that one time. That's where I got the name from that particular. There was an episode on Chappelle's Show, Clayton Bigsby. So that would be cool if they do that. That would be amazing, because we need good shows on TV, not the garbage that we have on now. Absolute rubbish. Last one here. King Harris was arrested in Georgia on various charges, including drug possession and obstructing officers. This is a weird dude. He looks like his mom, too. So
I don't know if I know who that is.
That is T.I.'s son.
Oh, then I saw it. I didn't know that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
So they said King Harris was arrested on drug charges in Georgia yesterday. He was hit with 3 other charges, including seatbelt violation, willfully obstructing law enforcement officers, and speeding. The young rapper was reportedly pulled over after going 60 miles in a 45. Officers spotted a firearm in the vehicle and was arrested as a result. Okay, so they stopped the vehicle. He had a firearm, asked him to step out. He didn't want to do it. So the officers confiscated a vape pen with some THC inside. He was released about 6 hours after the booking. I don't understand. I don't understand how some of these people can continue to just get in trouble. You got all the money in the world. Why do you need to act like a knucklehead? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the body cam footage of that, and then later on, T.I. comes because he gets called. And
yeah.
And so what did he do and stuff? He just looks like he's over it. Like he's been
T.I.
with this.
T.I. knows his son is a knucklehead.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about it publicly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a knucklehead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, dude, how much money am I gonna have to keep burning on you being a fucking dickhead before I write you out of my will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Stupid kid.
In other news, I found this funny. J. Cole announces he is leaving the Chinese Basketball League due to visa issues. Sure you are. I saw the footage of your first game, J. Cole, and I saw the fact that you hit the side of the backboard. I also saw that you shot another one that literally went into the stands on the right side. So if you think that visa issues is the reason why they won't allow you to hit, that your key fob doesn't work anymore, you want to go ahead and go rest on that story, you go ahead. I know basketball. And when you go ahead and you prove that you can't really play that well, what ends up happening first is that the teammates freeze you out. So you're just out there playing cardio. Then when the teammates freeze you out, then you'll have a conversation, not a long one, but you'll have a conversation with the coach, and they're just gauging the temperature. And then once they go ahead and gain some more information, gather some more information, they're going to make sure that they release you. So doesn't shock me at all. Rubbish.
I didn't even know that. Well, first it was Chinese league, and two, like anyone can just kind of join it, I guess.
If you're J. Cole and got money, like, cause the thing is, J. Cole can play basketball, right? Like, we've seen him play basketball. It's not the fact that he cannot play, but playing for a professional league is a lot different than anything else, right? Like, the level of competition does rise a little bit. So, to each. Moving on, that is my irrelevant news
You
of the
gotta
week.
be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the... I mean, yeah, they stink.
Dianna Russini. You know, karma is something else, man. Dianna Russini, she has these alleged photos and all of this other stuff with Mike Vrabel. People have been leaking that it's a romantic getaway. They said, oh, well, there's like 5 or 6 other people there. We ain't see a picture of these motherfuckers yet. So you want to keep lying about it, that's fine. But I laid it out last week in regards to saying that the only problem here, outside of a moral issue, right, is not the cheating thing or whatever it is the fact that you now are disrespecting or discrediting all the reporters that have come after you. So now they're not going to be taken seriously because they're going to think that you're only here because you did favors for somebody else. That's the problem. So she went ahead and she was writing for The Athletic. She stepped down from The Athletic, and that's the right move for her to do. I think that what she needs to do is just sit home, heal your wounds, and literally just stay low. Just lay low. You know what I'm saying? You got dog walked in the public. You had to step away from things. Just stay low. Because for Mike Vrabel, there is no disciplinary action that's gonna face unless Robert Kraft wants to do something. Just because, you know, he may have a female contingency in the organization, whatever it is to appease to whoever he has to appease to. But I don't see Mike Vrabel getting in trouble for this, and it could be a wicked double standard, right? But Dianna Russini is a reporter, and if I, as a manager, am trying to extract information out of you, I still have to treat it like I'm a reporter, right? Instead of being the friend, buddy situation. No, I have to now get sources. I have to double check my sources and all this other stuff. Like, I'm not just gonna give you inside trading information. It's just disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I ain't mad at all in regards to they packed her ass up and sent her where she's supposed to be. What do you think happens now in regards to other women that are following Dianna Russini? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know, like things like this, personally, it's just a difficult situation to begin with, because like like women in media is obviously still kind of, it's growing, but it's still primarily like a male dominated field in film, TV, journalism, all that stuff. And like for women to kind of get a spot is like you have that narrative like, oh, you have to kind of do some favors to kind of get to the top.
Yep.
And then kind of when you see a situation like you said, like you're talking about last week in the past where there's been rumors of her kind of doing some stuff like this potentially, like it kind of, it just continues to make it hard for the women. Like people look up to you, and then you're like, oh, well, if she got there, I can get there. And then you kind of find out like, oh, well, she was doing that kind of the whole time. What does that say for me? Like, do I have to do that? Or if I don't do that, am I never going to get where I want to be? So it's just a hard situation. You know, like you see women out there in these fields and you feel so inspired, and then sometimes you find out that, oh, there was kind of some stuff going on behind the scenes, and you know, it wasn't an honest way of getting there. But then also, like, you look at it, like, why does it have to be that way? Like, why can't we all kind of get an equal opportunity for these jobs and whatnot? So
based on merit, skill, ability, like, it doesn't necessarily matter what cup size you wear or how flirty and how friendly you can be able to, like, honeypot some of these dudes. Like, it's just it just comes off as like, it comes off as like the diva division back when in wrestling, when they never used to take women seriously to be performers outside of showing TNA. You know what I mean? And we have gotten past that in regards to our sports or sports entertainment, but there is a dark side of the moon with female reporters. And or just, you know, female personalities in general. Like, you just got to make sure that you're protecting yourself, protecting the business, and other people are not trying to, you know, harm you and discredit you and harm your future. And I think that she got exposed for that. There was another video that I seen with another reporter that the reporter was just like, yeah, good riddance, because I know what you do and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it doesn't fall on me that this has been something that you've done for a very long time. And when I saw that, I was just like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I like stuff like that. Get messy. Get messy.
it's like, finally I could say what I've been wanting to say.
Yeah.
It's like you're acting fake, pretending like you're this somebody, but you just did whatever to get
Hey,
there.
listen, let me tell you something, man. Like, I understand trying to be a nice person and trying to, you know, send a good message, but I love a good kick in your back end story. I do. Why not? Why should I not put my particular boot on your spinal column and push you into the dirt? Because sometimes that's where you deserve to go. That's what you've given to everybody in regards to your time and your energy or your responses to certain things. It's like, yo, like, at some point, it's not gonna be like that no more. And once it cuts off, then you now become a liability. So, shouts to all the female reporters that never compromise themselves, that are continuing to move up the ladder and take her spot. Take her spot. If she didn't value her situation, and again, this is all alleged. So if she is going to just have brunch or whatever the hell it was, and it could be innocent. It could be innocent. But you still need to have some type of decorum about you, privacy, or you try to move differently if you guys, because like once you're a big celebrity or people know you, you've seen your face on TV, like as soon as they see you the second time or whatever time, it's gonna be the same thing that you've always gotten, like that publicity, that people in your face, people taking pictures of you, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, putting pieces together. You got the internet sleuths that are out there that are trying to solve the case. Like there's so many different things that you gotta prepare for, and sometimes it's not always beneficial to just kind of buck the grain all the time. I'm gonna do what I want. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I'm sure Dianna Russini thought the same thing. And now she's picking up garbage for sanitation. And not the good sanitation too. The private companies that don't pay people, bro. That's what I like. Do you have something there? Oh.
No, I was I'll mention it too, like the potential cover-up story of her saving that old man from the car accident, but it's just like an interesting story of how that comes out the day after, 2 days after she resigns, and all of a sudden she's a superhero.
Yep.
Kind of stumbling upon this accident and then saves his 80-year-old life out of a Jeep.
Yep.
So, but just interesting, the whole thing. So, we'll see how the Patriots do this year.
No, that's a fact. That is a fact. So that is the Dianna Russini story. We'll see how she bounces back from this. And Mike Vrabel probably just looking like, I hit it anyway, so I'd be able to just, go on this side and go back to coaching the Patriots. It's so crazy how Mike Vrabel, nobody talks about Mike Vrabel, but at the end of the day, Ime Udoka, when he was with the Celtics, did some wild shit too to some people, and they were just like, yeah, get him. He needs to go. Make an example out of him. So he had to lose his job. He lost everything. He lost Nia Long, who was one of the iconic black actresses of our time, right? Solid 10. No matter how old she gets. Solid 10.
And she never hasn't aged a day.
No. It's probably those, I don't want to talk about it. That's a conspiracy theory thing. But she looks great, right? And something happened that year too when, it was interesting. It was interesting. Like he did what he did, and then the firestorm happened, and then she ended up breaking up with him, and then they suspended him indefinitely, and then they let him go, and just like. And there's another example of being a different hue, you get treated differently. Or it's the organization. I have no idea. But it just looks a little sus.
So that none of that is like illegal, like what they're doing. It just not being good partners, but it's not illegal necessarily to not, do that. So
no.
It's like why you're losing your job and all this stuff. So
absolutely not. So now it's time for the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask, who is the Dummy of the Week? Silent Assassin, do you have a dummy this week, my friend?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it was kind of going viral last couple of days, but it was like this little league tournament.
Okay.
They're like going for, I think it was like a state championship or something like that. And it's the bottom of the ninth inning, and there's 2 runners on, 2 outs, and the catcher there's like a drop third strike, and so the runner, obviously, the batter started to run first base, and then the catcher and the pitcher all run up together, and they start celebrating. And then the whole dugout comes out, everyone's, come out celebrating, and then the other guys are running the bases, like, because it's still a live ball.
Oh my goodness!
And you hear like a dad in the back having a heart attack. He's like, "There's 2 outs. There's 2. It's 2 outs. 2 outs. It's not over yet, right?" So then, still the whole team's celebrating and whatnot. The umpire's still waiting there, just watching the game play out, right? And the runners, the people on base, start to score. So all the 2 on the base, and then the guy that was the batter all scored, and then they ended up winning the game. And then all the players started being like, "What do you mean? Like, the game's over. It was strike 3." And like, no, like, he dropped the ball. He still has to get the guy out. It's still a live ball. And the people, the players celebrating ended up being the losers of the game. And
I saw an article. I didn't go into it. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. Come on, y'all.
Dummy.
Come on now.
Yeah. So we said never celebrate too early. You still gotta
Don't touch the money.
Yeah.
Don't touch the money too early, man. That's crazy. But listen, good for the other team to be able to say, "Wait a second, this is a live ball. Let's keep going." You know what I mean? Like, some people would just kind of like buy into it because they're not mentally there. But the fact that they continue to play because they realize that, yo, they don't even know what's going on right now. So let's just go ahead and just waltz in. So I wonder how those players feel right now.
Awful. They're just like because nothing was, it's still a live ball. It wasn't strike 3, you're out, game over.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the catcher
But
dropped
why
it,
would
picked
they
it up.
not think that the ball was still live?
I guess they heard strike, but then there was nothing where the umpires they signaled it was a drop ball, and then you see the batter start to run to first, but like your instinct is like, I gotta tag him out. Like, even like, I feel like it's instinctual. Like, if you see a batter run, you just throw it to be safe or whatever the case may be. Like, you don't even know. We see it in Major League Baseball. Like, even the players sometimes don't know really what's going on. They don't hear what the call is, or they don't see the ump react right away. So they'll still do their whole thing to think what is right, even though, like, if they don't necessarily don't have to do it. But just didn't do it, and then they're all jumping, cheering, throwing their gloves and all this stuff, and the game's still going on. And then at the end, like, the coach and the ump are talking, and it's just like, well, I can't do anything. Like, the game, still
I said,
live.
"Ref,
Yeah.
could you do something? Could you overturn it?" Absolutely not. Because your team is a bunch of idiots, and I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but you might have gave them this uniform, so it's your fault. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're young. They will figure it out, but man, is that a bad way to lose. It's funny, but it's a bad way to lose. You hate to see it, but at the same time, you love to see it.
Dummy. Yeah.
I have mine, and it's very quick. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week. Just make sure I queued up here. Dwayne Hankins. Dwayne Hankins gets my...
Dummy. Yeah.
Now, you're probably wondering, who is Dwayne Hankins? Well, I can tell you that Dwayne Hankins is the president of the Portland Trail Blazers. And Portland Trail Blazers are currently the 7th seed in the Western Conference, which means that you now have the luxury of being in a first-round series. They're going against the Spurs in the first round, and it's not going to be an easy game for them, obviously, but you can be able to figure out how to be able to get your crowd involved. The crowd is hyped. They're excited that the team is in the playoffs. The Portland Trail Blazers have been in the playoffs in a while. So this is exciting times for the fans. Well, what did Mr. Dwayne Hankins do? Normally you would have, in basketball, you have like the playoff, they'll give out playoff shirts. So they'll put the shirts on every seat in the playoffs in the arena, and they'll want the the people who are there, the fans, to be able to wear these shirts, so it can have a nice aesthetic look, when you pan to the audience. Well, Dwayne Hankins decided, nah, we're not giving out no shirts this year. We're not giving out no shirts this year. Like, how? What is wrong with y'all? You so cheap? Is the tariffs that high where you can't get the shirts in? Like, come on now. Like, the Blazers haven't been in the playoffs for so long. And you mean to tell me that you can't have like a playoff bound or we here in the playoff shirt so everybody can get upset, get excited and hyped? Like, yo, I'm paying crazy money for these tickets. The very least you could do is give me a fucking free shirt. And it's just like, yo, come on now.
You just get like, find a sponsor. I'm sure
Yo,
do it. Put the logo on it.
I seen this. I was just like, yo, come on. Really? Of all the things you're going to take away from the fans, it's bad enough that all they do is just slice our stuff in half, make less quality stuff for us so we have to pay more. And now you're doing that the same thing with these poor fans, is that you take their money and then you're not giving them exactly what they've earned throughout the entirety of the year. Mm-hmm. It's just silly.
Mm-hmm. So. I also do think like the amount of shirts they'd have to order to like cost per shirt probably like 10 cents anyways. Like you
facts. They got some poor kid in Guam making these shirts. You know what I'm saying? And look, even if you did supply these playoff Portland Trail Blazers shirts for Game 3 and Game 4, and things don't go well, then you could always send those shirts off to where they always send the shirts off, because those guys always get fly clothes, and you always know that they're getting like the ones that were printed that didn't work out. So so whoever, when the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that year, they sent all of the Eagle shirts overseas, and all of these people are having shirts that say Eagle Champions on it, and they don't know who the hell this person is. They don't know who this team is. They don't care. It's just a shirt. That's what they're gonna do with these Portland Trailblazers shirts. Just make them so they can wear them and discard them and send them somewhere else. Come on now, but to not have them is just a different level of cheap. Different level of cheap, and a different level of like, you don't care about your employee, your patrons, your fans. Mm-hmm. And that was corny. So that is my
dummy of
the week. Good show. I should leave it there. I should. But I can't. This week's PSA is a jam-packed one. There's a lot of things that happened. We had Trump depicting himself as Jesus. We had Dr. Oz talk about Pepsi, I believe it was. You had RFK on the Hill, and he looks like something's really going on with him. We got Peter Hegseth. Like, the grifting does not stop with these people. So where do we start? We start with the Orange Man. Just reported, I believe today, that, the ceasefire is still on. The Strait of Hormuz is completely open. And everybody's just like, nobody believes it. Everybody's chilling. And then a little bit after that, you have Iran come out and say, nah, ain't true. So it's like market manipulation again. And we don't understand why he does it. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We understand why he does this, because he's a liar and he's a cheat. And all he does is grift off the American people. He can be able to manipulate the stock market and get his rich buddies paid because it's insider trading. And we all know all he does is do illegal shit, while we're over here looking at other people like, oh, you're not morally right. You're telling somebody else that they're not morally right when you support this guy? Got it. So we'll see what happens in regards to this. I need to see if there's going to be any more updates, if there actually is an official ceasefire and they can be able to literally come to some agreement. That'd be nice. We would sign up for that. End the war. But see, that we can always agree to that. They can agree to that. But you know who's on the outside of that probably won't want to agree with that? BB the Bomber. Because that's what he does. You don't want to continue to go to war, Iran? No, we don't. As a matter of fact, here, you do it. Oh, no, I don't want to do it because, you guys started the conflict. No. You started the conflict. We just backed you up as partners because we're just gluttons for punishment. You handle Iran. And you know what Israel would say? No, thank you. Because they can't. That's the big problem, is that when you have a superpower and you have the little idiot that's on the block making things up and lying because they have gang ties and affiliations, they can be able to run amok in the streets, correct? Because you don't have any type of filter system. You don't have any room for you don't have any room for any bullshit. Like it's just amazing how every single time people continue to believe this garbage. And it leads you to the same place, back to square one. So we'll see what happens. Well, I don't trust Israel. I believe that he'll continue to keep bombing and keep doing dumb shit. So it gets better for him. Donald Trump then goes ahead early in the week and he retruths, or whatever the hell you want to call it, a picture of him as Jesus floating in the air. Somebody's in bed and he has his hand over him and his back is glowing like Jesus, and he has some stuff coming out of his hands like Gambit. Like, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Right? So you got people out there. You got all the evangelicals. Oh. Christians. Oh. Clutching their pearls. Oh, this is my clutching pearls look. Clutching pearls. How dare you? This is blasphemous. You know, I don't play around with my God. No, you don't. This is not what you do. No. And then he came out and said, "Yo, yeah, I thought it was a doctor. Like I was healing, and that red thing was like Red Cross. So yeah, that's what I thought it was. Instead of him saying, I really apologize for posting out there. I really didn't understand the significance about how this was going to affect and impact. But no, he does what Orange Donnie does. Doubles down because he's a malignant narcissist and he's never wrong. But here's the part that I'd like to go into. It's deeper than that. When Donald Trump got sworn in the second time, he never put his hand on the Bible? Mm-hmm. Interesting. You know that every time he talks about like his favorite Bible verse, he's 2 Corinthians. What was that?
It's too personal to share.
Yeah, too personal, exactly. He can never tell you anything. You know why? Because he doesn't believe. He doesn't believe in anything except Donald Trump. And you have these evangelicals out here. You have these Christians. You have all of these other people that just because they are bigots and just as big as racists as a Donald Trump, they will go ahead and believe that he was appointed and anointed to be able to do the things that he does. Doesn't matter how he speaks to people. Doesn't matter what his checkered history is. And it goes all the way back to what we were saying about the Catholic Church. About when we were talking about Pam Bondi and the other one. What's her name? Christy Nome. Is that they don't get fired. They just get transferred. That's what a lot of people in the Catholic Church and evangelicals, they'll go ahead and have somebody that's literally a predator that's doing bad things, and they'll go ahead and protect that person. Just like the other day, like there's a story about a Catholic church having a member that is literally a registered sex offender. And they're just like, oh, well, he didn't do anything here, so we're... But yeah, you have him someone around children. And you think that Christ healed him. Got it. Sounds a lot like Jaden Ivey. God healed my knee. Don't need an MRI. We go check the MRI, knee's all fucked up. Psychosis. But is it psychosis, or is it just the fact that you found your tribe? That I have all of these radical views. I have all of these things that were always deemed as not acceptable. And now we have a champion that allows us to say what we want to say because we'll always be protected from that as long as Diaper Danny or Diaper Donnie is here. It's the problem. They capitulate and they allow because they're trying to push their own selfish agendas. And for him to have a problem with the Pope, this is where we're at. Is that just because the Pope is calling out the genocide, I don't know, for people that he just wants just regular basic human rights for people, that we just don't want to be in wars that we shouldn't be in, and there shouldn't be little girls killed in a school for nothing, and there shouldn't be a mass genocide that's going on in Gaza and other places around the world. We just want regular human rights. We don't want anything else. And the fact that the Pope wants the same thing, and Trump's like, oh, Trump hates, what did he say? Trump is not, no, he said that the Pope is not hard on crime or whatever it is. I was just like, dude, he's the Pope. Like, he is supposed to be the voice of Jesus, the right-hand man, and you have a problem with it. And then there's other people now that, he's too left-leaning. The Pope's too left-leaning. There have been popes in history that have been very, very vocal about political issues. And guess what? This Pope speaks English. So, every day, these people make me laugh because the grift continues to get wider and wider and wider. And did you find it funny that Viktor Orban loses the election in Hungary? And Viktor Orban was in power for like 16 years. Viktor Orban destroyed the economy and the government and the mass media in like maybe 4 years, and that place has been living under his bullshit rule for that long, and the people came out in droves. No matter how much he tried to cheat, no matter how much he tried to jerry-rig the election, they literally landslided his ass. It gives you a blueprint of what needs to happen at the midterms. Like I don't care for people to start voicing their displeasure online or taking polls and all this other useful shit. Just lay low. Lay low until it's time. That's it. Go to the ballot box and go do the right thing this time. Don't go in there and be a single issue voter. The trans are here. You see what's going on? Come on now. Like, we all know what the bait and switch is. Every time things get hard, you run right back to the trans issue because that's the boogeyman. I don't see anywhere in the Bible where they said that God would not accept trans people into the kingdom of heaven. You know who he wouldn't accept? All these rich phonies that are here stealing money from the people. He'd be like, so you guys literally charge for this? Every other country, most of them have universal health care. How is the strongest nation in the world not have that? Cool. Bob, you got a match? And he would go ahead and set these motherfuckers on fire, or set that church on fire, wherever they was at. You're not allowed up here because you don't have the principles. You don't hold the values and the virtues that it takes to be a legit Christian. They're all grifters. And for anybody to now fight the Pope, just listen to yourself. You are in a cult. God can come down right now and tell you that, yo, you needed to dump Trump. And they'll be like, he's wrong. Let's get him. So you strung him up before, you go string him up again? Like, what are we doing? We got to be better than this. But going back to Orban, right? He loses, but J.D. Vance gets sent out there to campaign for Viktor Orban. What are we doing in Hungary? Like, I want this to happen right now. I want J.D. Vance to get the nomination. Because if he gets the nomination, Silent Assassin, this is a wash. He's so bad and unlikable that if that's all they got, they are fucked. Like, he's the biggest prostitute in Washington right now. He has no country. He has no beliefs. Peter Thiel bought and paid him off. Bought and paid for. Told Trump, hey, I like this guy. Put him in. All right, cool. Trump hates J.D. Vance.
I thought allegedly too that was the same the other way as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's no love lost there. Because there's a jockeying for position. J.D. Vance wants him out because he wants to be president. And Donald Trump doesn't believe that he should keep J.D. Vance in any position that's going to be able to make it look like he's a strong, powerful person. Because even if there was a peace deal that was brokered when he had went out there with Iran and some other people, and the peace deal would have went through, he would have took the credit for it. That's what Trump does. So, Dr. Oz said something very, very interesting. Dr. Oz said that Trump believes that soda kills cancer cells. We are going to look back at this timeline Silent Assassin. And they're going to be like, yo, I don't think that this shit is real. Like, this gotta be like one of those like comedy spoof parody type things where this can't be real. Like, this had to be a script for a movie that they put out. Because this is not a real, this is a simulation. This cannot be real. That you have idiots like this that are literally running our country. This is the same guy that said that if you put bleach inside of them, would it kill the coronavirus? Because it says on the bleach bottle that it kills 99.9% of coronavirus. Then you had RFK on the Hill. And if you've seen this, Silent Assassin, you would think that there's something wrong with this man. Like, he would literally have to go home and just lock him away. Grandpa, there's something wrong with Grandpa. Like, he said on a podcast in 2024, and all of the representatives ganged up on him, and I love the fact that they did that, that black kids are heavily medicated. And because they're heavily medicated with whatever medication, whatever ADD medication or whatever it is, they tend to become more violent. So because they become more violent, they now have to be monitored, and now they have to be surveilled a little bit more closer and all this other stuff. And if they are being medicated or whatever it is, they need to be reparented. So not only are you saying that all black kids are violent, because you can't even prove it that that's the case. You're just gonna make a blanket statement because it doesn't matter if you're right. That's the thing about this timeline that we're in. It does not matter if you're right. All it matters is if you struck a chord with some type of community. If they believe that, or if they're so racist that no matter what it is against black people, to have them say, well, that's why they act like that. That's why they act like that. Doesn't matter. So you can be able to get away with shit like that, but oh, he didn't get away with this one. And they kept drilling him about the question. And he was like, oh, let me do the RFK. I didn't hear this. You said it. The fuck you mean you don't? What? I don't remember shit. What? You have no background in health, and yet you telling people not to get vaccinated. You know how many people he's killed over the year, over like this past year? How many kids? How many people? It's unbelievable. Like, I'm telling you, I blame you, Silent Assassin, for going on vacation, and you must have went to the Bermuda Triangle. You didn't realize it. We are in a different alternate universe. There's another version of Barry Grant Jr. somewhere that is still having like an audio podcast somewhere. He's never gone video, right? You're still at the other place. Can't stand it. Maybe you're gonna go punch somebody in the face, right? Claw's still doing his nonsense, right? This is a timeline here. I don't know. I don't know, but this can't be real. Everything that I see, it just doesn't add up anymore. RFK is a freaking idiot. And the fact that he is running HS, I just can't do it. can't do it. This one here though. This one here might take the cake. Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth. If you had a word to describe Pete Hegseth, what would it be?
I don't know, honestly.
I do. If I had a word to describe Pete Hegseth, it would be pretty simple. Drunk.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Good one.
There's nothing else to say because he's a drunk. And people like him tend to hide behind Bibles all the time. Like, you can always tell who the bad people are and the grifters because every 2 words out of their mouth is some fake scripture or something about Jesus. Because they do that because it creates this barrier, this force field where you can't say anything to me because I'm God's vessel. The man went on the podium and recited an alternate version of the Pulp Fiction Bible verse that Samuel L. Jackson recited. It doesn't exist. And the part that blew my mind, right, is not this drunk that's saying it. It's the people in the crowd like, so y'all motherfuckers don't know that's not in there either.
Telling him to continue to preach. Just
Like, it's unbelievable. I'm going back to RFK. Because that shit was too funny. I want to listen to it now. Because every time he speaks, I laugh. He sounds like, you ever heard, like, sounds like Rice Krispies going off. Like, you just can't really.
in the milk.
Yup. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Snap, crackle.
What are you talking about, bro? It make no goddamn sense. Listen to this.
For podcast interview, you suggested that Black children on ADHD medication should be reparented. You said every Black kid is now just standardly put on Adderall, SSRI, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and that those children are going to have to go somewhere to get reparented. So to be clear,
it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what it means.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
And by the way,
so to be clear, you're not a doctor, you have no medical degree, and you have no formal medical training. You have never parented a Black child.
24 of the 26 HHS secretaries have not had medical
This is my
degrees.
time. You are not a doctor, have no formal medical training, and you've never parented a Black child, and yet you are suggesting that the federal government should take Black children away from their families and reparent them and send them off to some wellness farm instead of providing them with evidence-based
You're just making stuff up.
I am absolutely not making this up.
Psychiatric drugs, which every Black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented.
Yo, you can't make this shit up. I'm sorry. Yo, believe what I'm telling you, not what I said. Like, whatever I said right now, don't worry about what I said before. What is happening? You said this shit. And you literally just said you didn't say it. You know why? Because there's no accountability. There's no consequence. He's not going to lose his job over this. You don't think that Trump knew he was a fucking idiot? The only reason why he gave him a job in the cabinet was because he wanted RFK to drop out of the race so he can be able to get the votes and not split the vote. Because a lot of idiots out there, I want to vote for RFK. You're an idiot. I am a firm believer of calling a spade a spade. And what I mean by that is that not everybody is a good-looking person. Not everybody is a nice person. Not everybody is an athletic person. Not everybody is an in-shape person. Not everybody is going to go to Harvard. Not everybody can be able to have the mental capacity to comprehend certain subjects or certain things. And here's the biggest one. Well, there's another one too. Not every baby is cute. It's a fact. They're innocent children, it's fine, but they're not. That doesn't mean that everybody's cute. Yeah. We gotta stop. Yeah. You know? Just be honest. There's some. Oof.
Yeah. It's like the thing pray for like no one in the family has an ugly baby because then you have to just go around and lie.
Yeah.
Down,
oh my God, he's so cute. No, he's not. No, he is not. He looks just like his mother and his father. No, he don't. No, he not. So here's the biggest one. Not everybody is smart. Mm-hmm. We have stupid people that are among us. And they will never not be around because, again, not everybody is smart. And because of that, not everybody has common sense. And because of that, not everybody has the ability to think for themselves. And those people are more susceptible to get caught up in this bullshit. In the cults. In the grifts. You ever seen any president have merch?
Not until
I've never seen it.
Recent.
So you have all of these people have Trump hats. I have never seen any president with merch. Yet you have all of these people that are spending money that they don't have. And he knows that. And do you think that he's actually going to drop his prices? No, he increases them. Because he knows how stupid they are. Mm-hmm. Last thing on this, and I'll move on to some more serious topics, is that what scares me about these same people that I'm discussing, these same idiots that have triple trumped, double trumped, or single trumped in 2024, they are now realizing that they made a mistake. And the sad part, well, not all of them, but you know, the ones that have come to that grip, to that realization. And what scares me is that you have the sharks circling the chum. Trump is old. He's weak and ineffective. They all know this. They've known it for a while. But the longer you can be able to keep him there and you can continue the Kansas City shuffle, it's fine. But when this is starting to get exposed, the power starts to slip. The grip on that cult starts to slip. You now are going to have people jumping off that ship. And where are they going? They're not coming to the opposition party, no. Not the opposition party that you think that they're going to. You would think that they're gonna go run to the Democrats. No, you have MAGA, and now you have something else that's brewing, and I want people to listen to me very carefully. This is by design. MAGA, America First. It's the same thing. You see, you have people like Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, all of these grifters that they were the ones that got Donald Trump elected twice are now telling you, don't forget Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're all in it. And they're telling you now that, he's weak, he's ineffective. But the Alex Jones is there now. He's weak, he's ineffective. He's done too many bad things. I can't support him anymore. You know, we voted for no new wars and a good economy and blah blah blah. America first. So then people now who are disenfranchised by Donald Trump, they're going to hear Tucker Carlson is right. Nick Fuentes is right. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Kansas, they're all right. America first. They're going to throw their red hat into the garbage and pick up a blue America First hat. When what you're doing, what MAGA is a cult of personality. It's one person. But you see, what's being incubated is even worse than MAGA. See, we can be able to outlive Trump. But in regards to a movement that can possibly have a neo-Nazi in it, like Nick Fuentes, who's a racist and a bigot and a misogynist, people will put that to the side because he doesn't support the state of Israel. Oh, he's talking the truth over there. Candace Owens, who her entire career has just lied and lied and lied and lied and grifted and lied. She also, state of Israel, we don't like it. Oh, she's starting to tell the truth now too. Tucker Carlson, who had a career of being a liar and a grifter and pushed a whole bunch of propaganda to the point where Fox had to almost pay $1 billion because of him. He got let go. And what is Tucker Carlson saying? The state of Israel. We don't mess with them. See what I'm talking about here? You see a trend? Is that people are going to be so down on themselves because the economy is bad, the war, the gas, all this other stuff, that they're going to run into the arms of something a lot worse. Christian nationalists that want to go ahead and tell you, based on God, how you should live your life. That we should have Bibles in every deli. We should have Bibles in every street corner. Instead of cycles, what do they call those bikes? City bikes. Instead of city bikes, we're going to have Bible stalls. And we can't have any other religion in the United States except Christianity, except being a Catholic or whatever it is. Gotta be a Christian. Can't have no Muslims in the country, so they'll just go ahead and just take out all the Muslims. So again, pay attention. Yes, we want Trump out, and he'll be dead soon, probably, and whichever one comes first. But what's being incubated is a lot worse. It's just like that Alien movie. You see those little face grabbers? Scared of those face grabbers. They're vicious. But what are they incubating once they get you? What's going to be laying in your chest wall cavity? A xenophobe, or what was it? It's not a xenophobe, it's a xenomorph. That's worse than a face grabber. That's what America First is. So people need to realize what's happening. Two things and then we'll get out of here. Eric Swalwell, good riddance to Eric Swalwell. He was running for governor in California. He was in Congress. Several, assault allegations, many over the years that he would, get staffers intoxicated and stuff like that. And, he was labeled to be aggressive and a playboy and all this other stuff. And, he stepped down, resigned from Congress, and we love it. We don't want anybody like that, because at the end of the day, you have a small percentage of women that lie about their experiences with certain things, but that's not the majority. You believe the women first. That's how you do it. Until it's proven otherwise, you believe the women first. It's just like if your kid comes to you and tells you something, are you not going to believe your kid first more than anything else? You always have to believe the women. Women, more women don't report assault because they're scared of the ramifications, because sometimes the assault comes from somebody who's in a position of power, that they feel that their job or their life or their just credibility is going to be compromised, that they just bottle it. And so many women have to deal with, assault and this and that and harassment. They just bottle it. I am not somebody that's going to sit here and not believe women who are constantly under assault. Not just necessarily physical, but there's verbal, there's catcalls, there's so many things that you guys are exposed to, that it's not fun to see, or I'm sure to experience. So why would I want to believe a man over a woman's experience? I'm not doing that. So Eric Swalwell, go fuck yourself. Whatever situation you got with your wife, you deal with that. But you don't need to be in a position of power in government, and anybody that's like you needs to go too. And that comes to the last part of this. I don't want to say the word because I might get demonetized, but it's the RAPE University, where there's 62 plus million people that are signed up to this thing. Worldwide. Not just talking about the United States. Worldwide. So you're trying to tell me that there's 62 plus million people that have the desire to do that? Not only to just people that they don't know, but to people that they live with? Wives, girlfriends, family members? Like, what are we doing? And it peels back the curtain of perversion in this country or in this world. Perversion is a big problem that we have, because a lot of it is suppressed perversion. And what does it come back down to? That book. Is that some people are so strict with their kids. If you touch yourself, you're going to hell. If you do this, you're going to hell. If you go ahead and go talk to that girl, you're going to hell. So you know what ends up happening is that person, that girl or that boy, they start to hate themselves because they have these urges and these feelings and these hormones that are going crazy, and they cannot answer the call because they don't want to go to hell. So what ends up happening is that suppressed adolescent teen becomes a suppressed adult that has no social skills to be able to talk to the opposite sex. And what they do in their privacy of their own home is that they do these things and they hate themselves for it. So because they hate themselves for it, they now have to spread hate to somebody else because trauma is always something that's around. See a pattern here? We have a world full of socially awkward, weird people that because they feel the need to seek community, no matter how dark that community is. This is why we're here. I need these names to be leaked. Every single one of them. Because I can guarantee there's going to be politicians on that list. There's going to be police officers on that list. There's going to be teachers on that list. There's going to be priests on that list. There's going to be every single walk of life and every single occupation you can think of. You have to know who's around you. And I tell people all the time, women, especially women who have kids or married, make sure that you are very, very acquainted with your local sex offenders list. Make sure. There's a registry. It's public record. You can be able to go look and see who's around you, because just in case, you should always have a bottle of pepper spray on you or something else. We live in a very dangerous time where kids are being assaulted and people are not really doing much. You got, murder suicides that are going on. You got people that are getting engaged in other countries, and all of a sudden the next morning they wake up and they're dead. The world is burning. And we're the ones that kind of lit the match. Because as we go, everybody else goes. So if we are doing nonsense, I'm sure it's spreading other places too. But perversion, that's something that's a global problem. So protect the women, protect the kids. That's the way we do things here. That's the way you do things anywhere. And I need that entire university to be leaked. You have guys that are literally, there was a picture of this guy, boxes of mail that he's sending out, these potions to these people. Do you imagine? You don't know who. So another thing I'll say. Don't take nothing from nobody. Hey, how you doing? Oh, got this for you. No, thank you. I get my own. Hey, got an extra bottle of water. You? No, I'm okay. You could have walked through the desert for 3 hours. Go get your own. That's the type of world that we live in. Is that you can't trust your fellow man because of the deep rooted perversion that's happening nowadays. So I will leave you with this.
Amazing audio recordings have surfaced of a phone conversation nearly a half century ago between President Richard Nixon and future President Ronald Reagan. The recordings were released by the National Archives, and they capture the two men using racist language. Here's White House correspondent Paula Reed.
President Richard Nixon recorded himself talking to then California Governor Ronald Reagan in October 1971, the day after the United Nations voted to recognize the People's Republic of China. Reagan had phoned Nixon at the White House to vent his frustration at African delegates who celebrated the vote.
Last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television, as I did, to see those monkeys from those African countries, and they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
Oh, monkeys. Gotcha.
The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation said today, if he said that 50 years ago, he shouldn't have, and he would be the first person to apologize. After talking with Reagan, Nixon called Secretary of State William Rogers and adopted Reagan's racist language.
He saw these, as he said, these cannibals on television last night, and he said they weren't even wearing shoes, and he says here the United States is going to submit its fate to that.
Later that month, Nixon laughed at these comments from his best friend, Bibi Rebozo.
You know, that reaction on television proves how they ought to be still hanging from the trees by the tail.
Surprising audio recordings have surfaced of a phone conversation.
Make America great again. See what I'm saying? History always repeats itself. You have Nixon and Reagan making racist comments about black people, and you still have those things going on today. But yet, Reagan is their gold standard of what a president should be. I wonder why. You know how black people think about Reagan? Not the way some Republicans think about Reagan. We, as black people, look at Reagan completely different. White people that supported Reagan looked at him completely different. Why? Because everything that he did worked for them. Everything that he did worked against us. But yet, he had the slogan that the grifter stole, "Make America great again." That was Ronald Reagan's line. So always remember that, Silent Assassin. History repeats itself. That's all for the show. We'll be back next week. Who knows? Who knows what we'll talk about? You know, playoffs are here. I don't want to talk Mets. I don't. We made the decision to not speak about them today. So I won't. Losers of what? 10 straight, 9 straight? No. Even Wardy. I saw Wardy today. I felt bad for him. The Wardy was going to do it, boy. That's how I feel. I feel the same way. So until next week, stay safe. Stay cool. Peace.